Hare Natyevaham jatu nasam nattam meni janadipa natyeva na purishyama sarvi vayam patapparam. Krishna is advising Krishna Arjuna. Natyeva aham. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these things, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. This verse confirms that we are eternal. Krishna says that in the past we are like this individual in the past. That means in our past lives we are an individual, just like we are now individual at the present moment. You are Mr. Such and such, I am Mr. Such and such, he is Mr. Such and such. We are all individual souls. That we existed as individual souls in the past. And we are existing now. There is no question of the present. Every one of us, we have got our individual opinion. Why I differ from your opinion? Why you differ from my opinion? Why you have got your own ideas, I have got my own ideas. I don't agree or agree with you. These are all individual units. There is not a homogeneous amalgamation. The individuality is maintained, eternal. Therefore, Krishna says, Natu eva aham. First of all, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He states about himself that I was also a person. And at the present moment, I am also a person. And in the future, also I shall continue to remain a person. Similarly, not only I, not who eva aham jatu nasam, not Tom, also you. You are also individual. Now you are individual, and in the future you will remain also individual. Tam na imi janadipa. And all the, because it was battle of Kurukshetra, so there were many kings, soldiers. So Krishna says, and all these janadipa, all these kings and soldiers who are present here, they were also the same thing. That means both God and the living entities, they are all individuals. They are all individuals. That is confirmed in the Vedas, Kathopanishad. In the Kathopanishad, it is said, Nitya Nityanam. This is the verse. Nitya Nityanam. Stop that child. Nitya Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Jo Vidadati Kaman Tam Atmastham. So, God and we are all individuals. But the difference is that He is Nitya Nityanam. Nityanam means plural number. Nitya, Nitya is singular number. And Nityanam means plural number. We are all plural number. We living entities, we are plural number. But God is one, singular number. Because there cannot be plural number of God. It is mistake to say that my God, your God, His God. The Christian God, the Hindu God, the Muslim God. The God cannot be two. Then there is no question of becoming God. There is no competition between gods. No. God means the great. Nobody can be greater than Him. Nobody can be equal to Him. That is God. Nitya Nityana. Nowadays it has become a fashion, especially in India. So many gods coming out daily. So we don't want that kind of God. God is not made by mystic factory, by meditation or by this, by that. No, God is always God. Just like Krishna. Krishna is God from the beginning of his birth. He did not go to the forest for practicing mystic yoga to become God, or killing big bears and ostriches to become God. No, Krishna is not that kind of. He is God always. These similar. Nitya Nityana, Chaitana Chaitanana. So, all of us, we are eternal. God is also eternal and we are also eternal. Qualitatively one. God is also Chaitan, living force. We are also living force. The difference is only he is singular number, we are plural. Then what is the difference between this singular number and plural number? That is also stated in the Kathopanishad. Eko bhunam jo vidadati kaman. Eko, that singular number, is providing maintenance or necessities of life. That's singular number. We are being provided and he is providing. This is it. Otherwise he is also individual, we are also individual. Now that is the proof. Eko bhunam buddhati kaman. Just like there are 8,400,000 forms of living entities. Either we call species or form, whatever you like. Millions. The description of the living entity is given also in the Shastras. Kesagra satobhagasya satadha kulpitasya cha jiva bhagas abhigya sa anantaya kalpati. The living entity is a small particle. The smallness is also described, magnitude also described. Kesa agra, the tip of your hair, top of your hair, point. Satobhagasya, you divide into 100 parts. And take again one part after dividing. Then again divide it into 100 parts. That means 1/10,000th part of the top of the earth, that small molecular particle. That is our identity. Upon that small particle, we have developed this body. Now we are not this body, because this verse says that we existed in the past. We are existing now. So, in the past I did not exist in this body. Neither I shall exist in this body. This I have to give up. Today or 100 years after. So I am not this body. I am the spirit soul. And because that small particle spirit soul is within this body, I and you, this body is moving. Nitya, Nityanam, Chaitana. Chaitana, that is Chaitana. Chaitana means living force. But with your materialized, because it is so small, you cannot find it. If you dissect the body, The medical man, they try to understand, but they cannot find it out. It's so small, it is not possible to see with this naked material eyes. It is not possible. You can get information from the Vedic literature. That is understanding of the soul. Don't conclude by your wings, because our knowledge is very imperfect, because our senses are imperfect. The senses are imperfect, you can understand when a man is dead. Now find out what is that thing is lost, that the man is now dead. My father is dead. When that small particle was there within the body of my father, as soon as I called, Father, immediately he replied, yes, my son. Now I am crying, Father, please get up, please get up, get up. No reply. And I say, my father is now gone. Where is your father gone? The father which you saw, the hands and legs, they are lying on the bed. Why you say gone? He is lying there. This is called ignorance. We do not know what we are, and therefore we do not know what is God. Because if you can understand the small particle, just like take a drop of sea water, you analyze it, you taste it, then you can understand what is that big sea. If you can understand a drop of water from the sea, then you can understand what is that big, vast mass water. There is no difficulty. Sample. Just like we taste sample, little sample, chemical analysis. We take little sample and analyze it. And then we understand the whole stuff. In chemical factory, in laboratory, for testing the genuineness of something, the taste is there, they take only little small, and by chemical analysis, by testing with other chemicals, they can certify good or bad. Similarly, we are all samples of God. We are all samples of God, not God. The God is similar number. He is one. But we are, because we are just like this sun and the sunshine. Then what is the sunshine? Those who are physicists, they know this sunshine is combination of shining particles. This sunshine. Those who are expert scientists, they know. Even if anything you take, you see within the microscope a drop of water, you'll find so many things, combination of so many things. Anything you take. So this sunshine is combination of small atomic shining particles. So that's the comparison. The shining atomic particles and the sun glow. Very great difference. Similarly, we are also small particles of the same quality as God. Just like this shining particle, the sunshine is a combination of shining particles. So, our relationship is that qualitatively we are one with God, but not quantity. Quantitatively, ekajo bahunam vidadhati kaman. He is providing the necessities of life for so many millions and trillions, uncounted. Ananta. So ananta kalpata. The living entities are ananta, you cannot count. Just like you cannot count the sunshine small particle. It is not possible. But they are simply combination of a small particle. So, that is the difference between God and me. I am so much harassed for maintaining a few children, or one or two children and a wife. I have to give up my home life. I have to come to the foreign countries and work very hard. I am so much embarrassed. even for maintaining a small family. And God is maintaining millions and trillions of elephants. From ant to elephant. Elephant they eat at a time 40 kg. So there are millions and trillions. Not only, there are bigger elements also. Those who are actually conversed with the animal life. I have read in a book that in Africa there is a part of jungle where gorillas live. And in that place, a kind of tree grows. The fruits of that tree is just like nuts, but the nuts are as hard as iron bullet. The nuts, so hard. But in that water, the gorillas live and they enjoy that hard nuts. They eat. Similarly, in the desert, you see there are dates and thorny leaves. When the camel passes through the desert, the man eats the dates and the animal eats the thorny vegetable. And there are watermelons also. Just try to understand what is the arrangement of God. Everywhere. It doesn't matter what kind of animal or living entities are there. There is arrangement. There is arrangement. And the Shastra it is said, ahastani sahastana, apadani chatuspadam, nunagamatang tatra, jiva jivasya jivanam. Everywhere there is food arrangement. Jiva jiva, one living entity, is the provision for the another living entity. Ahastani sahastana. Living entities who has no hand, they are food for the animal who has got hands. Just like we as human beings, our food is ahastani, the vegetable, or animals. We eat animals, they have no hands, or birds, they have no hands. It is very nicely explained. Ahastani sahastana. Those who have got hands, their maintenance is the animals who have no hand. Apadani chatuspadam. Basically grass or small creepers, they cannot walk. So they are food for the chatuspadam, for the four-legged, that's like cows, goats, bulls. So you will find this food arrangement everywhere. When Dhritarashtra was living with the Pandavas after his family all being killed. The Pandavas gave shelter to the uncle after his uncle and the eldest member of the family. He was keeping very nicely under the protection of the Pandavas. But his youngest brother, Vidura, came and chastised him, my dear brother, elder brother, these your nephews with whom you fought as enemies, now you have lost everything and you are living at the care of them just like dog. Do you think it is very nice? Just to awaken his vairagya, renunciation. Yes, he thought, yes, it is very much insulting. I always treated them as my enemy and I fought with them. Now I am lost of everything, my family, my children, my kingdom, and I am living at their mercy. So it does not look well. So immediately he left the palace. So when Yudhishthira Maharaj came to offer his respect, because it is the duty, according to Vedic civilization, to offer respect in the morning, first respect to the elderly members or spiritual master of Hare. So when he came, he saw the uncle was not there. So he was very much perplexed. Then where he has gone? Who is supplying him food? So Narad instructed him that don't worry, there is enough food. Throughout the whole world, wherever you go, you will find your food. In this connection, this verse was the ahastani sahastani. Enough, anywhere you can go. There's food. This is a false propaganda that there is scarcity of food. Everywhere God has created food for everyone. We are simply mismanaged. I have several times told in every meeting that food production is so profuse, or it can be made so profuse, that we can maintain 10 times the whole population of the world. But we are mismanaged. Just like in Australia, in Africa, and New Zealand, there's so much place vacant. We can produce food. So, God has provided everything. That is the distinction between God and the ego jo bahunam vidudhati kama. So we are all individual. The only difference, try to understand, only the difference between God and we is that He is maintaining all the plural numbers. We are all plural numbers, He is singular. He is managing, maintaining everything. That is God. All powerful, all opulence. That is God. So, now the point is, here Krishna says that both you, me and all these kings and soldiers, they were in the past existing, we are existing at present, and we shall continue to exist in the future. Then the question is, then why there is birth and death and old age and disease? This is the problem. This is the problem. If I am eternal, if I existed in the past, if I am existing at present, and if I continue to exist in the future, then why this embarrassment? Birth, death, old age. That is the real problem of life. That is the real problem of life. Unfortunately, the present civilization, they have no knowledge what is the actual problem. They are simply busy for the temporary life. We shall live at a certain place, say for 100 years at most. We are busy to make improvement, the style of living for that 100 years, up to not even 100 years. Now at the present moment, 50, 60, 70. But we forget our eternal existence. This is the ignorance of the present civilization. We remain in the past. I am here in the present, and I shall continue. Then why these changes? Why there are so many varieties of life, so many conditions of life? This is the real problem. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha dosha anudarsana. In the janma, even in the birth, now the child in the womb is being killed by the mother. They do not see this is the problem. I may become again because tatha dehantaram prati dhirastattanamai. As soon as I give up this body, as I have given up so many bodies in my life, so as soon as I give up this body, I have to accept another body. Then what kind of body I am going to accept? That is a sane man's problem. I am going to be cat or dog or tree or a millionaire or a scientist or a demigod or what I am going to become. Because there are so many varieties of life. The Shastra says, tatha dehantaram prapti. After death, you will have to accept another body. Then any sane man will think, then what kind of body I can get next? They have no knowledge. In the university, there are so-called universities, advancement knowledge, but one does not know what kind of body I am going to get. Where is that science? But it is a fact. As I got, as in this life, as my past, present and future, just like a child had passed his babyhood body, and then his future is a boyhood body. A boy's future is youthhood body. Similarly, the old man the youthhood body is old man, there must be something next. No, we do not understand this. That is explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Tatha dehantaram prat. Dehi nasmin yatha dehi kaumanam jovnanga jara. Tatha dehantaram prati dhiras tattva nami. So, we do not take care that what kind of body. But if you say, no, there is no body, that you cannot say. Because if a child says, though there is no future body, he may say, but that is not the fact. He has a future body. A child, a baby, if he says, no, there is no future body, I am not going to be old. No, that's not. You must have to become old. And you must have to die. And you must have to take birth also. And as soon as you take birth, you must have to become old. You must have to accept diseases. These are the problems. Janmamattu, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that you are very expert, you are very great scientist, you are great philosopher, you have solved all the problems practically. Now, here is another problem. Janmamattu jarabhati, what you have done for this? Then you are silent. Then you are silent completely. So, this is the real problem. Janmamattu, because we are eternal. By this verse we can understand that I existed in the past. It may be I existed in the past as animal. Now I have got human form of body. It may be in future I am going to accept another body of a tree, stand up for 10,000 years. That is according to my karma. Otherwise, why there are so many different types of bodies? Just like we have got so many different types of dresses. All the ladies, gentlemen who are sitting here, they have got different dresses. That means, according to his means, he has purchased a particular type of dress. Similarly, this body is also obtained according to the particular type of hard work. Karmana, daivanetrena, jantar deho bhavatte. These are the instructions. So, our this Krishna consciousness movement is very important movement. It is giving people the knowledge of his past, present and future. Although the rascals do not know the past, present and future, they know something of the present, neither of the future nor of the past. So this knowledge is not perfect. If you want perfect knowledge, then you must take to these offerings. Just like you are presenting this Bhagavad Gita as it is. Take lessons from Bhagavad Gita. It is so important, but don't interpret it in your whimsical or crazy way. Take it as it is. Then you will understand the value of your life, how to make progress, what is the value of this human form of life, where from you are coming, where you have to go, why you are put into this miserable condition of life. Actually, we are all in the miserable condition of life. So long there is birth, death, old age and disease. We may concoct that I am very happy. What is your happiness? How long are you happy? Suppose you have got very nice house, very nice family, or nice grandparents. You are thinking happy. But any moment you will be kicked out. Any moment. Can you guarantee that you will live here for so many years and enjoy your so-called happy life? So these are not happy life. We have become blind, and the so-called blind leaders are pushing us to the hell. We do not know that. This Krishna consciousness movement will save you if you try to understand it. It is not that we have found out some means by research work. No, it is already there. The Vedas are already there. The Bhagavad Gita is there, existing. For the last 5,000 years, there is no change. Because the laws of nature are the same. Somebody says the modern West. What is this modern West? Does it mean the modern man does not die? Does it mean the modern man does not eat? Does the modern sun rising from the western side? What is the modern? There is nothing modern. Everything is perpetual, eternal. It is going on. If there may be some little changes for the time being, that is another thing. But the regular ways of the laws of nature, they are perpetual. Devi Jisa Gunamai Moma Durutta. There is no question of modern argument. Just like Krishna says here, that it is not that in modern we are now living. No, you lived in the past and in the future you will also live. Now you are living. So there is no question of modern or past. That is eternal. So this is the problem of human society, that one should understand the values of life. The values of life, you can prepare. Just as you have come to this human form of life by gradual evolution from aquatics to plant life, trees life, insect life, birds life, beast life. Now you have to decide what is next life. If I do not know, by nature's way, by evolution, nature has given us this human form of life. This is a chance. This is a chance. Nature is giving you a chance to understand yourself and the problems of life and make a solution. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha dosani darsana. And the solution is there. First of all, we have to understand that we are part and parcel of God. God is spirit, so I am spirit. God is Brahma, Parabrahma, I am also Brahma. Aham Brahmasmi. I am not this body. This is understanding. And as soon as you understand that you are not this body, then you are liberated. Not actually, but at least you come to the platform of knowing yourself. Then after knowing yourself, you can make your chalk out your program, what is to be. Because at the present moment we are working under misconception that I am this body. I am Indian, American, I am this, I am Hindu, I am Muslim, like that. Designation. I am working for the designation. But as soon as you come to the platform of spiritual understanding, then your real work will begin. Now you are working on the false platform. Brahma bhuta prasannatma nasochati. Now our position is jiva. I am identifying with this body. This is called jiva. Mamaivansa jiva bhuta, jiva loka. Krishna said, all these living entities, nitya nityana, we are part and parcel of Krishna. He said, Mamaivansa jiva bhuta, they are my part and parcel. Manasasthani indriyani prakitisthani. Because they are under the concept of this body, they are working with the mind and senses and struggling in this material world. This is their position. So, if you want to stop this struggle for existence, then you must know what you are. That is called Brahma Bhuta, Brahma realization or self-realization. Brahma Bhuta prasannatma nasochati nakam samas sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti lavate param. This is the enunciation of Brahma Bhuta life. As soon as you realize yourself that I am not this body, I am spirit soul, I am Brahma. Krishna is Parabrahma. Krishna is described in the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna accept it. Parabrahma, Paramdhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhava. So he is Param, just like Nitya Nityana. He is the chief living entity. Param. We are living entity, he is also living entity. But he is the chief, the most exalted, the chief. Asamortha, the great. God is great. So he is great, we are small. This is Brahma realization. Not that I have also become as great as Krishna. No, that is, you may falsely be puffed up. That is ignorance. You cannot become Krishna. You cannot become God. You are always subordinate to God. But you have the same qualities, a small quality. That is your good. And if you revive your godly qualities, that is your perfection. Not that by becoming God. If you revive your qualities of God, then you can become God's father. Why to become God? Just like God accepts his devotee. Krishna accepts his devotee as his father. Krishna accepts his devotee as his mother. And the mother Yashoda chastising Krishna. Krishna is fearful to everyone. But he is afraid of his devotee, Maharaj. So why should he be God? He become father of God. That is Krishna consciousness movement. We want to become father of God, mother of God. It is a great science. Try to understand. So nitya nityanam chetanam. So we are eternal. God is eternal. We have got very intimate relation with God. So revive that relationship and be happy. That is Krishna consciousness moment. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. You can form your opinion, but nature laws are different. You can think that now I have become a human being, I am not going to degrade. But that's not the fact. You are living entity, you have got a particular type of dress. If you do not maintain properly, then you get another dress which may not be human being. But this Krishna consciousness movement is not to maintain this dress or that dress. We want to get out of this temporary dress. That is. Takta deham punarjanma naiti mameti konde. We have got already our body, spiritual body. That is now dressed material. Just like your coat is cut according to your hands and legs. Similarly, this material body is a covering. We have got spiritual hands and legs. So this propaganda is that stop getting anymore this material dress. You remain in your own original form, spiritual form, and go back to home back. That is our thing. We are not concerned about this dress or that dress. That is not our concern. We don't want anymore any material dress. As it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma me dibbam ju janati tattva. Takta deham punarjanma naiti mameti konti. My dear Konti Arjuna, if you simply try to understand about me, Krishna, Janma karma, why I come, why, what is my business here to come here? I am the Supreme Lord, why I come here? Janma karma, why I take so-called birth? Actually he does not take birth, but he appears like that. This is a great science. If you simply try to understand about Krishna, Janma karma madhi, jo janati tattva, in truth, then takta deham, after giving up this body, you are not going to accept anymore any material body. Takta deham, punarjanma naiti. In punarjanma there is no birth of the living entity. But punarjanma birth is appreciated only by changing the dress, because we have no understanding of the spirit soul. So birth as death is concerned with this material body. If you have no birth, then you have no death. Where there is birth, there is death. This body is born, therefore there is death. But if you don't take birth, you remain in your original spiritual, nitya nityana. If you remain, then there is no question of death. So, it is not the problem that after this body I get another nice body. We are not preaching that kind of thing. We are preaching that you have got spiritual body. You have got your spiritual identity, Brahma Bhuta. You revive that spiritual consciousness. You become liberated from this repetition of taking birth and death. That is our purpose. We are not concerned this body of that body. This body of that body, they are all material body. So, not to remain in material body, but to revive yours, just like not to remain covered by the disease of fever. Sometimes we get fever, we become covered. So get out of this feverish condition and remain in your healthy condition. That is called mukti. Mukti hitya annatha rupam sarupena avasthiti. This is called mukti. Liberation means now we are living under designation. So when we give up this designated life and come to our actual life, that is called mukti. Mukti hitva natharu. Because we have got now designated dress. I am identifying myself as human being, as cats, as dog, as American, as European, as Australian. This is all designation. When you come to the real understanding, aham brahmasmi, I am part and parcel of God. That is your real understanding. And at that time you become happy. Yes. Just like a diseased man, when he gets back his healthy life, he becomes very happy. Similarly, as soon as we become free from this designation life, we come to the real life of spiritual life, then we become nasojati nakankhati samas sarveshu bhuteshu. Then you can see everyone on the equal level. We are trying to establish universal brotherhood and so many things, but that is not possible in this material platform. Unless you come to the spiritual platform, this equality, fraternity, this cannot be established. Samas sarveshu bhuteshu. Then mad bhakti lavati param. Then you advance in the devotional service of the Lord. This is the process. So we are trying to give this education to the human society. We are not concerned about changing this body from that body to this. No. Yes, you can look to your past. You are a child, you know that. Is it not? But what is that body, child?
You say that?
Yes. It is to be supposed, because we are part and parcel of Krishna. That is our original state. Now, by contact with this material nature, we have forgotten that. Just like I come from India. Suppose I remain here for many years, so I may forget about my home. But it is a fact that I was Indian. My home was India, therefore I am called Indian. I may forget. Similarly, actually, we were with Krishna. But we do not know when we have left our home or left Krishna and come to this material contact. That is another thing. But it is a fact that we were with Krishna because we have got little liberty, independence. Just like a very rich man's son sometimes gives up home life, his father and mother. He loiters in the street. That is his choice. Similarly, from Shastra we can understand that originally we were in Krishna, with Krishna. But somehow or other we have come to enjoy this material world, therefore we have been entangled. Now get out of this entanglement and go back to Krishna. That is our proposition.
If we had been in this state of perfect Krishna consciousness, then surely we would have been able to have the awareness to know that the material existence would have been no good for us. So why then would have we gone into?
Yeah, that is ignorance. That is ignorance. Because we are very small particle of Krishna, we are subjected to ignorance also. We are not fully in knowledge. Therefore, just like a child out of ignorance does something wrong. Similarly, Krishna Bhuliyaji Bhuvans. So we thought that by giving us Krishna's association, we shall be happy, remaining independent. And then when we came here, we became entire.
Is it possible that the whole world society will evolve from Brahma?
Yes, they are actually Brahma, but they accept the principle how to realize the whole world can be, but they are not prepared to accept that.
How long would it
It
take?
will take only 1 second, provided we agree.
Yeah, but the level of consciousness that is now, can that be raised the whole level?
Level of, that is material consciousness. So you have to undergo the process. This process is just like you have come here to hear. This is also one of the process. Savanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Bandhanam Lasam. The process is there if you have got little inclination that yes, if I am out of Krishna consciousness and suffering, let me revive my Krishna consciousness. This is the beginning. This is called sadhya. Sadhya, then you have to associate with persons who are engaged in Krishna consciousness. Adu sadhya tato sadhu sangha. Then you will practice how they are doing, how they are practicing Krishna consciousness. That is called bhajana kriya. Then anartha nivrittisya. Then all the unwanted things which you have acquired, just like these boys, these girls, they have given up 4 sinful activities. No illicit sex, no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication. They do not take even tea or smoke. How they have been? Because they are serious. So, anartha, because these are unwanted things. This is not required. But by association we have learned. From the birth we do not learn how to smoke. But later on, by a bad association, we learn all these things, smoking, drinking and these things. So you can give it up. Because you have to purify yourself. Anartha nivrittisya. If you increase your unwanted things, then there is no possibility of reviving your old consciousness. You have to decrease, that is called tapasya. So tapasya brahmacharjena. So you have to undergo the process. Then it is not very difficult. You revive your Krishna consciousness and become perfect.
I read in one of your philosophers that everything in cosmos makes the progress. So after human being dead, how could possibly we go from one plane to another? Would that have anything to do with the bad karma?
Yes, according to karma we get another body. So you have to do such things in this life so that you can go to Krishna. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Janti deva prata devan pitrin janti pitri prataha bhute cha janti bhutani mazrajino pi janti mam. That in this is the opportunity, this human form of life. If you like, you can go to the higher planetary system, Devaloka, Janti Deva Prata. There are many higher planetary systems. The duration of life is very, very great, and comforts and standard of living is 1,000 times better than this in this planet. So if you like, you can go, you can promote yourself in those planets. Janti Deva Prata Devan, Pitrin Janti Pitri Prata, there is a Pitri Lok. There is so many planets you can go. If you want to remain here, you can remain here. But Madhyajino Pijantama, Krishna says, one who is after me, one is trying or developing Krishna consciousness, he is coming to me. Now it is up to you whether you want to remain in this kind of life, constantly changing one body to another, transmigrating, or whether you want to go better standard of life in the higher planetary system, or if you like, you can go back to home, back to Godhead. This is up to you. But everything is possible.
Swamiji, there is one question, very simple question, it's not clear to me. You said that there are about 8.5 million species of life.
8,400,000 species are there.
8.4. So, man is at the top of all these species.
Yes.
And well, in this life, I'm in this form. Well, if I do a good job, I can elevate myself from this level. But if I don't do good job, if I go back, my karma is not good.
Yeah.
I can go down and say take life as a monkey or gorilla or some other kind.
Yeah.
But looking back to our country, say, for the past 20 years, the population of India has increased from 350 million to 550 million now. Actually, it is approaching about 600 million. So what has happened is not clear to me whether people from other higher planets have come down and take life in India, or monkeys or gorillas have done some good job and have taken birth as...
Yes, monkeys have taken. The monkeys are crowded now. You are right. The monkeys, they do not know how to elevate them to go to other planets or back to home, back to Godhead. Therefore they are crowded. Just like in a big air station, if the passengers are not dispersed, then it will be crowded. Similarly, from the monkeys they have come to human beings. Now they are not being promoted to other higher standard of life. They are crowded. This is world situation. This is a circumstance. The world has got much place, but because we have given stress to the designation, just like in Australia or in Africa, there is enough place. Why there should be crowded in India and China? But they have grabbed that this is my place, you cannot come here. That is the point. It is all God's place, but the rascals have grabbed that this is my place, you cannot come. Otherwise there is enough food, enough place, everything is enough. Therefore, India, from the beginning, they did not try to migrate to other countries. The Europeans, the Americans, the Europeans especially, they tried to come to this part of the world, Australia, New Zealand and other Africa. So, although Europe is very crowded, they are distributed. India did not. This is a material question. But so far God is concerned, ego bohanam jo vidadati kama, He has provided everything for every living entity. There is no question of crowding, there is no question of scarcity of food. We have mismanaged. We godless rascals. We have mismanaged things, therefore there is so much trouble in the world. Otherwise there is no question of trouble. So we want to get these rascaldom out, come to God consciousness, come to Krishna consciousness, and everything will be right here and there.
She wants you to comment. She wants you to make some comment on the theory that some souls come back to the world, to the material world, just for the good of mankind, even though they don't need to be in the material world. They come to help people out.
Yes, that is bad. As Krishna comes, Krishna's representative also comes. Yada yada hi dharma sagrani bhavati bharata abhutthanam adhatmassa tadatmanam sijamaham. This is the verse. As soon as there is discrepancy in the discharge of real spiritual life, then God comes, He sends His representative to educate the people, to reclaim them. That is going on. All right, let us chant Hare Krishna.
Where you're going to go in the next life, or is it not in your hands?
It is in my hand, yes. It is in your hand also. Everyone's hand. That is I wanted to explain. Janti deva prata devan pitrin janti pitri prata. Just like everything is in hand. You can become the president if you are qualified. Similarly, if you are qualified, if you qualify in this life to go back to home, back to God, you can go. There is no difficulty.
Okay. May I ask a personal question, please?
Yes.
Could you tell me if you know your past, and could you tell me if you capable to tell your future?
What is that?
He wants to know if you know your past, and if you can know your future. Is that?
That's so it's not a funny question. I'm just asking a serious question.
Yes, I know.
Thank you.
It is you can know also. It is not difficult. You can know also.
I just was going to ask you.
But you may not know the future, but you know your past and you know your present. And past and future also you can know through the Shastra. Shastra Chakusha, through the eyes, or through the eyes of Shastra, you can see your future. Not with these eyes.
I was referring to your one person.
Yes, he was also.